In class today, we started our first review for the EOC, and what we did today was an activity where I gave you an object in the room and you divided up into teams, and each team described that object to another team's artist. And I think what some of you probably learned from this activity is it's a lot harder than you might think to accurately give instructions to someone else and have them come out with the exact result that you want. The informative explanatory on demand may in fact require you to do something very similar to this. They're giving you a prompt, they have a very specific outcome that they're looking for, and you have to be able to follow those instructions to give them the specific outcome, like our drawings, that they expect you to produce. So the question that I ask you in class today is, which is more important, giving instructions well or following those instructions well? And I think what some of you kind of landed on is that it's important for both. If they haven't given you very good instructions, well, you're going to have some difficulty with your response. Realistically, that's not going to be the case. So what you have to do is learn how to read the question that they give you and find out what specific information you need to have to answer their question. So if in the case of an informative explanatory, the example that I gave you in class is, let's say that you are supposed to write a letter to an administrator at your school discussing the value of using cell phones in the classroom. Now, for many of you, you're going to really have to fight the urge to turn that into an argumentative essay because you're teenagers, and after all, you do like to argue. But what I want you to consider is this: an informative explanatory essay, you're sticking to just the details. So what I want you to do first is give specific details. What specifically makes a cell phone a valuable asset in the classroom? Make a list on your pre-writing. What specific things make it valuable? Okay, so step one, give specific details. Step two, as you're looking at your pre-writing, you need to consider the order of the details. You remember in class, the one that I showed you with the filing cabinet, and how they had the filing cabinet that was really, really, really wide, so the drawers were really short. Because when she started out with a wide rectangle as her first instruction, then when it came time for her to draw the squares inside for each of the drawers, they were the wrong size. So after you've got your details and you're looking at, okay, this is the stuff that I want to discuss, consider the order of those details. Is there something that's maybe a more powerful thing that you want to discuss? And if so, do you want to talk about that first? You want to talk about it last? Consider the order of how you place these things on your page. The third thing that I want you to consider is the importance of details. You guys have a tendency to kind of give me really minor and insignificant details. Like, for example, I can use my phone as a clock. Thank you. That's true. You can. However, I have a clock in my classroom. So is a cell phone valuable to use as a clock? Not so much. So be sure that you're giving me significant details, valuable details, and that vocabulary word we've discussed, concrete details. So that's the first thing that I'm going to be looking for with your on demand.